from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the news live from the National News Studios. I'm Sharifa Tahir and joining with me tonight is Clifford Richards. And first off, we take a look at the headlines. Energy Minister says that 2 diesel and petrol ships will arrive in the country on the 23rd and 24th. Many services disrupted due to persons engaged in essential services not getting fuel. Power cuts will be imposed only in the afternoons from tomorrow. JVP and SJB says an election is the solution for the crisis. Bank of Ceylon records its highest tax before profit in its history. More than 50 die due to floods in India and Bangladesh.
Moving on to the stories in detail, topping the stories tonight is the fuel crisis. The Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that letters of credit for $90 million have been opened to purchase petrol and diesel, and that's on the 23rd and 24th. He mentioned this during a special briefing today.
And we will continue with the story later on. We'll give you an update on the crisis story, but we move on to more local news updates to begin with on Channel I. And this is with regards to what has been reported. It has been reported that several issues have arisen due to priority has not been given to issue fuel for the groups who are providing essential services. It is no secret that everyone has been affected due to the fuel crisis. Those who are engaged in essential services are also performing their duties amidst problems. They are committed to provide services to the people. Health staff and security sector are main among essential services. However, those groups are seen to be in queues for days to get fuel. Although their duties are considered essential, they have been denied of getting priority. GCE O-level answer scripts are being marked at present. Teachers in several areas yesterday conducted protests stating that they were unable to perform their duties due to the fuel crisis.
Well, Minister Mahinda Amaravira says a ship carrying Indian fertilizer will arrive in the country, that's on the 6th of next month. During a media briefing today at Agunukola Palace, he said it will be possible to provide fertilizer before the 15th of next month. Well, the Minister, Mahinda Amaravira, says that the fertilizer will be given to farmers who cultivate paddy fields. Fertilizer to the value of 10,000 rupees will be given.
එන මාසේ 6 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට ලංකාවට මේ පොහොර නැව එනවා කියලා දැනුම් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම එතන ඉඳලා තව දින කීපයක් යනවා මේ බෑග් කරන්න සහ ප්‍රවාහනය කරන්න. අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා 15 වෙනිදාට මෙහා මේ පොහොරේ අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රදේශවලට ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙයි කියලා. ඒව ලබා දෙන්නේ කුඹුරු ගොවිතැන් කරන අය වෙනුවෙන් තමයි ලබා දෙන්නේ. අපි රුපියල් 10,000 බැගින් තමයි මේ පොහොර ලබා දෙන්න අපි කටයුතු කරන්නේ.
Bank of Ceylon has recorded a tax before profit of 43 billion rupees in its history. This has been disclosed in the bank's annual report 2021 handed over to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The annual report 2021 of the Bank of Ceylon was presented to the President by its chairman Kanchana Ratwata at the President's house in Colombo. It has achieved the target by broadening loan schemes and providing a personalized service to customers covering all categories island-wide. Chairman said Bank of Ceylon will provide the benefits of the people while holding the responsibility of a state bank. A group of officials, including General Manager of the bank, KED Sumanasiri, Additional General Manager Russell Fonseca, and a group of officials were present on the occasion.
Well, Education Minister Susil Premajat has requested all teachers and principals to support the conduct of the educational activities online of the schools that would be closed from tomorrow. Well, during a media briefing this morning, he said that educational activities of rural schools can be conducted according to special timetables. Well, schools in the Western Province lost 100 days out of 194 school days in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. Schools in other provinces have functioned only 117 days. Schools in the Western Province have held 102 school days of the 229. In other provinces, 143 in 2021. The Minister of Education has requested the teachers to support to conduct the expected days this year. Minister Susil Premjan said that teachers and principals have volunteered to perform their services. He requests to be made and to teach online. There are schools in rural areas where there are no transport difficulties. There is no problem conducting schools less than 200 students. The principals can take a decision in that regard by informing the zone. The August vacation is expected to be shortened and the days will be covered within that period. The December vacation is expected to be maintained as usual, he said.
Foreign Affairs Minister Professor G.L. Pires held discussions with UN Human Rights High Commissioner Michelle Bachelet on the sidelines of the 50th sessions of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. The minister assured the High Commissioner that Sri Lanka would honestly and transparently work actively with the international system, including the Council. The Foreign Affairs Ministry said that a detailed explanation took place on Office of Missing Persons, Repatriations Office, National Unity and Reconciliation Office, Sustainable Development Council, Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission and the results achieved on ground through including local mechanism. Minister G.L. Pires thanked Chinese permanent resident representative Cheng Shu for the continuous cooperation over the years with Sri Lanka. Minister Pires also held discussions with General Secretary of the International Red Cross, European Union, Australia, Korea, Germany and the Netherlands and Jordan permanent representatives.
Well, moving on to the top story that we were talking about at the beginning, Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that letters of credit for $90 million have been opened to purchase petrol and diesel on the 23rd and 24th. He mentioned this during a special media briefing today. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that Petroleum Corporation and the Treasury have acquired necessary amounts of rupees. The first shipment is a challenging activity. Diesel reserves are expected to be sufficient for the next 10 days. More attention is expected to be paid for the filling stations that have not received petrol for a long time in urban areas. The minister says that measures will be taken to limit the park to 3 hours. The minister said that trains need 150 metric tons of diesel daily. 6,000 metric tons are needed daily for SLTB and private buses. 1 million liters of diesel will be given daily from today for all SLTB depots. Private buses should get their fuel from the nearest SLTB depot without going to other filling stations, he said.
මොන ඉන්ධන අර්බුදයක් තිබුණත් අඩුපාඩු තිබුණත් පොදු ප්‍රවාහනයට දුම්රියට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගණනය කරලා තියෙනවා මෙට්‍රික් ටන් 150ක් දවසට අවශ්‍යයි කියලා. ඒ 150 අපි හැමදාම ලබා දෙන්න අපි කටයුතු කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව ලංගම සහ පොදු ප්‍රවාහනය කරන පෞද්ගලික බස් රථ වලටත් අවශ්‍යතාවයේ හැටියට මෙට්‍රික් ටන් 600ක් ගණනය කරලා තිබෙනවා ලංගම සහ පොදු ප්‍රවාහන සංගම් වලින්. ඒ 600ත් අපි අඛණ්ඩව ලබා දෙන්න කටයුතු කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා පෞද්ගලික බස් රථ වලින් විශේෂයෙන්ම මාර්ගයේ දුවන පොදු ප්‍රවාහන බස් රථ සමහරට පළාත් මාර්ග වෙන්න පුළුවන් අධිවේගී මාර්ග වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙනත් මාර්ගවල යන මේ රූට් එකේ දුවන ඒ කියන්නේ මාර්ගයක බලපත්‍රයක් ඇතුව දුවන පොදු ප්‍රවාහන බස් රථ සියල්ලංගෙම අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා වෙනත් ඉන්ධන පෙරෝම්හල් වලට යන්න එපා.
Public Utilities Commission said that a power cut will not be imposed from 8 a.m. to 12 noon from tomorrow to Friday. The decision has been taken as plans have been made to conduct academic activities of schools online due to the fuel shortage. Accordingly, power cuts will take place from 5:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. Chairman of the Private Bus Owners Association, Gemaru Vijayaratna, said that they are capable of providing public transport services island-wide if fuel is issued to them. Deputy Chairman of the Petroleum Distributors Association, Kusum Sandanayaka, said today that a methodology was launched today to give priority to the people in areas where filling stations are located when issuing fuel. The Deputy Chairman said that 6,000 litres are given at once from one category of oil. A majority in the queue will not get fuel. People become unruly as they do not know the amount to be received. When fuel is brought to the filling station, the distribution method is displayed at the filling station. From yesterday, it was decided to give priority for villages. Meanwhile, 7 suspects taken into custody in connection with the violence at a filling station in Aturugiriya have been remanded until tomorrow. 9 suspects were produced before the Kaduwala Magistrate Court yesterday, and the acting magistrate Nadika Jayawardena released 1 female and 1 male suspect from the charges. The lawyer who is appearing for the accused said that police officers connected to the incident will be produced in court tomorrow. Meanwhile, a racket of taking fuel from vehicles in queues has been reported in the Hatton town. The drivers and the assistants were seen engaged in this racket. The Gampala police officers gave, in fact, milk rice to the persons in queues near the filling station for some days on the Gampala Kandy Road. The Gampala HQI Chief Inspector Laksiri Fernando and a group of people provided them with this meal. Meanwhile, an unrest occurred near a filling station yesterday in Bandaragama. The groups who were in queues had scolded and chased away when teachers who were providing essential services came to get fuel. The police officers intervened and informed to be fair by the teachers who are going for essential services. Our reporter said that persons behaved in an unruly manner, even with the police. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa says that queues cannot be ended within 7 to 8 months. He mentioned this during a media briefing in Colombo today. Well, the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that he is prepared to accept the responsibility on behalf of the country. He requested to give them a mandate to solve the problems. It is necessary to get a new mandate for a target. A new program is needed, he said. More than all of that, the trust of the people is needed, he said.
Janata Vimukti Peramuna says that solutions to problems cannot be found while the government and parliamentary composition prevail as it is. During a media briefing in Colombo today, JVP General Secretary Tilwin Silva expressed his views in this regard. JVP General Secretary Tilwin Silva said that there are no dollars due to taking unlimited loans for everything during the last 25 to 30 years. Finally, the debt could not be paid. Frauds, corruption and selling of country's resources contributed to this situation. Still, they are going on the path of taking loans. Credit lines are obtained since money is not given. People are further burdened with some hope of going to IMF. These problems will not be solved despite Ranil becoming Prime Minister, others becoming ministers, until this parliament composition remains.
Veteran actress Leonie Kothalavala passed away today. She was ailing for some time and passed away at the age of 78 years. And she entered acting with her career through the film Sama. She acted in many teledramas, including Kumari Hami, Charita Tunak, Iritamuavin, Udusulanga, and Nadayo. She won the OCIC Award for the Best Actress for her acting in the Kumari Hami teledrama. Leonie Kotalavala also acted in several films, including Pipena Kumudu and Chandali. She is a mother of 5 children. Her remains will lie at a private funeral parlour from 9 a.m. on Tuesday for the public to pay their last respects. The funeral is scheduled to be held on Wednesday at 4 p.m. at the Boralla General Cemetery.
අපේ ගෙදර ආරෙල්ල අපිත් එක තනි රකින්න. හරිද? අපි එකාගේ අතේ සත පහක් නෑද ඊයේනේ. තිබිච්ච සේරම පහුගිය ටිකේ ඒ ඉන්ටයි බෙහෙත් වලටයි සේරම වේදා.
Police say there is an increase of bicycle accidents in the country. Therefore, police have taken steps to implement a special program to brief cyclists during the next 2 weeks. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Thalduwa said that people are using bicycles more due to the shortage of fuel. 1,202 fatal accidents have been reported in 2022. 96 out of them have died and all of them are cyclists. Therefore, the police are paying special attention in this regard. Not fixing main lamps and moving without switching them on. No rear reflectors, wearing dark clothes in the night, not obeying road signals and not paying attention to other vehicles when crossing the road are basic reasons for the accidents. Therefore, police will check the bicycles and advise the public to minimize accidents.
The Samagi Jana Balawege says an election should be held soon as possible by establishing an all-party conference, all-party government rather, that can be accepted by all political parties. During a media briefing at the opposition leader's office today, MP Dr. Harsha De Silva said that it is only through that the present crisis can be handled successfully. MP Dr. Harsha De Silva said that it is clear that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa cannot rule the country. It is the responsibility of everyone engaged in politics not to allow this country to be affected further. Opportunity should be given to build the country through an all-party interim administration process.
The government has paid its attention on distributing consumer goods in north and north-central provinces imported through India and brought to Kankesanthurei harbour. It is with the aim of saving time and money. Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva inspected Jaffna Airport and Kankesanthurei harbour yesterday. The minister said Kankesanthurei harbour should actively contribute to the import and export process. Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva said that $45 million have been given to build the breakwater. Since the distance from India is less for this place, the price will be less when fertilizer and other goods are brought from India. The Ports Authority have been instructed to implement a program for naval activities. A group of people, including Minister Douglas Devananda and MP Ankajan Ramanathan, were present on the occasion. Senior Vice Chairman of Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Professor Rohana Lakshman Piyadasa, says that international cooperation to overcome the present crisis can be obtained only by an all-party government with a specific program. He mentioned this during a media briefing today. Professor Rohana Lakshman Piyadasa said that Sri Lanka Freedom Party from the inception said that an all-party government with a specific program is needed. All political parties should be represented in the government. An interim administration with a small cabinet limited to specific subjects and a program should be formed. That's it on local news updates. We'll be back with international stories.
Terima Kotumi Pantan.
Welcome back. Moving on to international stories and heading straight away to Ukraine. Well, Ukraine Interior Ministry says the situation north of Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, is quite difficult as Russian forces have been trying to get closer to shell the city again. Well, the Ukrainian president promises to retake areas of southern Ukraine occupied by Russian troops. Ukraine President Zelensky said in an overnight video address that Ukrainian forces will take back everything that belongs to Ukraine. The industrial city of Severodonetsk, a prime target in Moscow's offensive to seize full control, faced heavy artillery and rocket fire again, the Ukrainian military said. The General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces says Ukrainian forces have suffered a military setback in Metoclimb to the southeast city of Severodonetsk.
In the meantime, in India, monsoon storms in Bangladesh and India have killed at least 41 people and unleashed devastating floods that left millions of others stranded. Floods are a regular menace to millions of people in low-lying Bangladesh, but experts say climate change is increasing their frequency, ferocity and unpredictability. Relentless downpours over the past week have inundated vast stretches of Bangladesh's northeast, with troops deployed to evacuate households cut off from neighboring communities. Schools have been turned into relief shelters to house entire villages inundated in a matter of hours by rivers that suddenly burst their banks. Lightning triggered by the storms has killed at least 21 people around the South Asian nations since Friday afternoon. Among them were 3 children aged between 12 and 14 who were struck by lightning yesterday in the rural town of Nandail, said local police chief Mizanur Rahman. Another 4 people died when landslides hit their hillside homes in the port city of Chittagong. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news. Together with Clifford, I'm Sharifa, wishing you a very pleasant night.
Good night.